Remember last year when we noticed that MLP animator by the name of Tom Weisen got arrested for 60,000 images of child porn? Even if this has nothing to do with MLP whatsoever, this is just really difficult for me to actually see of what is going on for this year. I mean, last year we got an animator doing terrible things, and now we got not one, but 12 people arrested in Polk County for child pornography. Let me discuss the story. Robert Leo Waston, 51, which is he's the age that he's in right now, eligibly took his computer to a Geek Squad service desk at a Best Buy in Des Moines, Iowa. After he spilled gravy on the device, he purchased a new computer and requested that the Geek Squad copy his old files onto his new device. The Geek Squad, the chain's tech service normally covering every issue from a grandparent setting up an iCloud account to a person hoping to install a home theater. Instead, alerted authorities after they discovered what they alleged to be child porn. Now, as pure a Polk County inmates listening, the man faces 9 charges of process depiction of minor in sex act in the first offense and 1 charge in the second offense. Police in Des Moines collected both Watson's old computer covered in gravy and his new computer according to the complaint, which was filed in late April. According to police, Watson described several images on the device, some of which he admitted to be saved as 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds. Watson remains at the Polk County Jail under a bond of $50,000 in cash. He is due to appear in court on May 10th. I just really can't believe this. I really do. This is just really hard for me to actually see of what people in this world are just doing, just getting themselves into these situations no matter what. I really cannot believe that this is still going on even after of what happened last year. I mean, this is just the beginning of the end. Apparently, the title from the season 9 premiere of MLP is just basically the beginning of the end of the fandom. But at the same time, I highly doubt that that would be the case. For one, I really just when I look at this, it just shows to me that people don't have anything else better to do. I mean, Leo Waston is 51 years old. And then during this age, he decides to do some random things and doing terrible things by completely holding an innocent child by doing terrible things. And it's really just devastating to see of what just happened during this time when we completely got to know more and more about this investigation. I got a feeling that for whoever is in the 50s, because that happened to Tom Weisen last year when he was 50 years old, they do terrible things involving child pornography. This is really this pedophilia thing has been going on in the MLP thing since 2018. And what's sad about this whole thing is that it happened before we got any information about it. And as for Robert Leo Watson, for what's going to happen in May 10th, he's probably going to do the same thing that Tom Weisen did last year. Because Tom Weisen had to make up excuses that he has a pedophilic disorder, and the judge is completely not going to fall for it. At this point, there's really nothing that he can do. I'm not saying that this is worse than what Tom Weisen did, but at the same time, the fact that he had lunch and he accidentally spilled gravy on the device, it just proves to me that everyone needs to be careful to not to spill to the electronics. I mean, I do eat lunch with my electronics close, but I don't eat liquid stuff like he does. Like gravy is what I mean. And the fact that he really thinks that he wants the Geek Squad, who is responsible for the tech device, allows him to have the old files that he had on his old device to his new device, just proves to me that he should have just never done the child porn to begin with, or just easily, probably hide himself, like make a new file and stuff. But at this point, these people just keep doing the same thing repeatedly again and again with no resolution, and they don't even learn for the mistakes. I completely fed up with unrealistic and carefree people doing terrible things by doing so much pedophilia crap that really makes this really difficult for me to actually see if there's actually any hope in any other situation. The guy who works at Best Buy, you really need to think about doing something else other than doing the same mistake again and again. And let's get into the fact that there's 12 other people into this investigation. In my opinion, I think that this is even worse than I completely imagine. When you literally just look at these people going through so much child porn and doing terrible things to underage people who are not even teenagers, really, it's just really unreal to actually think that these 12 people think they can get away with it. And I really highly doubt that if anything that happens between now and the future, we're never going to hear the last from this. Anyway, as for what's going to happen during the court on May 10th, I don't think that there's going to be any chance that Leo Watson and his friends are going to get themselves out of the situation. They're going to stay in jail for about 2 years or so, or maybe more, depending on what happens. And I don't think that for what's going to happen when they get back outside of jail, they're probably going to continue to do the same thing, because Watson and maybe most of his friends are in the 50s and they don't have a lot to live. So they just decide to do some terrible things because they just don't care about anything else but child porn, which really makes it really disappointing for me to actually see that any of this is going to be avoidable for all these 12 people. Anyway, I'm just going to let this out that I'm sorry that I haven't did an actual upload today. I only noticed this as of now, and I want to make a video to alert people more about the information. I'm going to put the description of the video that I showed you, well, not really from beginning to end, but the video that's on Lahu in the description box, because I think that you need to see more on the information. And I'm also going to have FNGR's For No Good Reasons video about this Best Buy investigation. Sorry, I have a hiccup problem. But anyway, let's just hope that this doesn't get out of hand again. This is the second time I noticed this, and that's the first one was Tom Myson from last year, and now there's 12 people. Even if this is not MOP related, it still needs to be addressed no matter what. Anyway, hopefully tomorrow morning I'm going to upload my fanfic reading of Princess Twilight's Laggy Vacation. I already did the recording of that and the recording of the 6 chapters of my Teacher Mothers of the Week fanfic. I haven't did the editing yet because I was too exhausted by doing all the recording. But anyways, I'm Lonely Fanboy for here, and please be safe.